is going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day or night whenever you're watching this. I wanted to talk today about my salary and bonus. A couple of you guys liked the last video. I did like this, and I just got my info for this next year. My company does it on a year-by-year basis, so I figured I'd share with you guys. I'm, transparent with what I make. I think it's a good amount of money. I don't think it's anything crazy, but it's definitely I'm definitely in a good spot and very blessed. Obviously some privilege to, be in this position, but let's get into it. Before I, go any further, obviously nothing I say in this video is like financial or legal advice, It's just sharing my information for entertainment purposes, but so, if you guys have not seen my previous video, I make a little over $76,000 a year right now, and that's what I've made, this past year. That was following a raise last year, so this is the value that I had for 2024, and they are bumping me 3% to about 78.5. This is kind of just their standard raise. Some people I work with are, complaining about inflation in regards to their, wages. It's certainly not keeping up with inflation, but I think it's not the best economic climate. I don't think it's the best job market, so I'm kind of blessed to be getting a raise in the first place, and I was pretty lucky, not lucky, but fortunate with my bonus, so I think to me that makes me a little more content with the 3% raise, but I do certainly know some people who work at other companies who have gotten much larger raises. Now, my bonus is a little funky. I'll explain it, and I kind of did the math out here to show you, but as you guys know, I did move, and because of that, my bonus structure changed. I'm in a different role now, so it's kind of weird how it ended up getting blocked out, but basically a quarter of my year bonus is in the 5% salary target, and the other 3/4 are with the 7% target. This mainly has to do with the part of the business that I'm in and the move that I made, which long term I'm very happy with, but obviously, affects the bonus initially. And so, with that being said, I did get an above expectation, high impact designation for my performance review, which essentially means that you contributed above and beyond to business critical tasks and deliverables. Was not expecting this, to be honest with you. It's a little bit rarer at my company from what I hear. Most people, if you're, doing your job, which is kind of what I've been doing, you get 100%. If you're in, trouble or you're on performance improvement plan, something like that, you might be getting something like 70 or 80%. I'm not really sure, but above 100 is rare. I did not get it last year. Although I hadn't even been with the company for a full year at that point, so that is what that is, but that's awesome. And that is, one of the reasons that my bonus was also higher this year. And then for business performance, so I mentioned that my year kind of stretched across two parts of the business. The one that I spent 3/4 of the year with performed very well, so they have a 130% modifier on their bonus, and the part of the business that I spent a quarter of the year with did not do so well, so that's the 5% target, a 75% modifier, so that's actually a reduction from your target, which is, kind of normal. There's, a lot going on that isn't necessarily even anyone's fault, but it's just kind of how it works. Is when the business is not doing as well, the bonuses aren't as good, and when the business is doing well, the bonuses are better. It's obviously meant to incentivize your performance during the year, but for the most part, a lot of people don't necessarily have the ability to directly drive change in this unless you work in something like sales, in my opinion. Obviously, you're contributing to operational things and deadlines and stuff like that, but it's not quite the same. It's kind of a second order effect. So, how this is calculated is, so this 75% is for the 3 quarters of the year that I mentioned I was with this part of the business. That gets multiplied by my salary, the $76,150, and then by 130% because that business did well, and then my target for that part of the business was 7%. So you multiply all that together, multiplied by my salary, and you get $5,200. And then for the second roll, because that was a quarter of the year, and that company has a 75% business modifier and a target of 5%, that multiplied by my salary of $76,150 is $713. Obviously much less. The modifier and the target are lower, but it's also due in part to the fact that I only spent a quarter of the year with them, so a third of what I spent with the other part of the business. But if you add those together, that is a total bonus of $5,913. But I also got the 120% personal modifier, so you have to multiply that into the bonus, which leaves you with $7,100, which honestly blew my mind when I saw that number. Genuinely was expecting, I don't know, a couple grand. I didn't know how well the other part of the business did. I knew that my business that I moved to wasn't doing super well. I wasn't sure how the split was gonna work. Yeah, a lot of things I obviously didn't know about the 120% modifier. So, in a lot of ways, I was very surprised to get this. I do think that my salary has lagged a little bit over the past 2 years compared to some friends I have in the industry. It's kind of just how my organization is set up right now, and I think long term it won't be an issue, but the salaries are a little flatter at the entry levels, and I am newer to role, so I don't quite have the experience to get the big bumps. But I'm very blessed to be in this situation. I'm very happy with where I'm at currently, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this yet. I usually use my bonus to contribute to my IRA. So obviously we're coming to the end of the year, which means that you'll be able to contribute to your Roth IRA for 2025 as of January 1st. Obviously you need to have the earned income to be able to max it out, but this bonus hits that threshold immediately, which is going to be kind of fun. But obviously I'm going to lose, I don't know, 30% of this, maybe slightly less, to taxes. And then a chunk will still get sent to my 401k, my Roth 401k. And since that percentage is calculated pre-tax, so let me explain. So if I make 100 grand, which I don't, and I set my 401k contribution rate to 25%, but I'm doing a Roth 401k, it says, oh, okay, 25% of your 100 grand is 25 grand. You want to contribute 25 grand to your 401k. But then when you get paid, let's say you make that 100 of it to taxes. So you walk away with 70 grand for the year. It takes that 25 grand that it calculated off the pre-tax value, and it takes it from the after-tax take-home pay, because it's, a Roth account, which makes sense. But that means that you're then taking that 70 grand that you got, take home. You lose 25 grand off of that. So that means you're getting left with 45 grand. Versus if you were to do a pre-tax election to like a normal 401k, what would happen is they'd say, oh, you want to contribute 25%. That's 25 grand. We're going to take 25 grand off the top. So your taxable income for the year goes from 100 grand to 75 grand. And then maybe you lose 30% of that to taxes. So that's maybe, I don't know, 22, 23 grand. So that leaves you with maybe low 50s in terms of take-home pay. So you end up with less money than you would have ordinarily with pre-tax, but that's kind of the trade-off you make, because this is going to grow, in theory, in my Roth 401k for the next however many years until I withdraw it at 59.5 or later. And that's going to be completely tax-free, so if it grows to $1 million in there, doesn't matter, no taxes, which is a pretty insane concept. And I'm sure at some point I'll hit the threshold of income where it won't make sense to go Roth anymore, but I'm nowhere close to that. The general kind of rule of thumb is if you're making more now than you think you will in retirement between Social Security, pensions, brokerage accounts, 401ks, IRAs, etc., you're going to want to do pre-tax, because the tax burden that you have now is much higher than what you will have in retirement. So you'd rather get the tax savings now while it's a higher burden. But if you make less money now than you will in retirement, it is in your interest to front load the taxes and pay them now, so that down the road you have less of a burden when your income is higher. So that's kind of the rule that I follow for the most part. Some people lean Roth primarily, even if they think they're making more than they will in retirement, because they just like the peace of mind and the flexibility. Some people don't have Roth options or just don't know about it. So, people use a mixed approach, but that's kind of my thinking. But yeah, very blessed. Hopefully you guys are doing well and are having a good year end. We're coming into the holidays, so not sure how many videos I'll be making, but I'll try to make some vids for you guys. And appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time.